Welcome in. This is The Herd, wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening to the show. Thanks so much for making this part of your day. I'm Doug Gottlieb, in for Colin Cowherd, live from sunny, beautiful Los Angeles, the new home of Isaiah Thomas, on Fox Sports 1,
a couple months.
iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app, along with Christine Leahy. Let's get after it. Look, once you get to my age, right, where you know enough to know what you don't know, but there's lots of things you do know, right? Like I've traveled around. I think I was telling the guys, my kids are 11. They've moved 7 different times. I've worked for 3 different networks. I've played collegiate basketball 2 places, professional basketball in 10 different countries, part of 3 different teams and 6 different minor league teams as well. Like I've been around enough to learn some stuff. And there's one philosophy that I think is time tested, and I want to share with you. It's really, really important, especially on a day like today. Want to know what it is, Christine?
Sure.
Don't shop hungry.
That's true.
Don't ever shop hungry. You just don't do it. I love grocery shopping. I really do. Like these people who shop online, I know I understand. I completely understand its convenience. Okay, it's a lot like the iReader, or where you can read a book on
like a Kindle.
Like a Kindle, yeah.
Okay.
Where you're like, ooh, I don't need the book. I can just if I want the next book, I just download it and it's done, and I don't have to worry about carrying around the book. I always take my Kindle with me, or I always take my iPad with me, or whatever. But there's something to the closing the book and say that it's done, right? And looking up at that book that somehow it's in your office, or I have this book that a dear friend of mine gave me. I wish I had, and honestly, Isaiah Thomas could have used it. It's called The First 90 Days. It's great. If you ever switch jobs or know somebody who's changing jobs, buy for them The First 90 Days. Talks about things you should do in the first 90 days on a job to understand the new culture of a new place before you kind of become that version of yourself. Anyway, oftentimes I'll be in wherever I live, my office. I'll look up at the first 9 days, and I remember who gave me that book, where I read that book, things I learned from that book. Whereas if I had the iReader, I don't.
So are you saying that when you are at a new company, the first 90 days, we're seeing kind of like a fake version of you, and then afterwards we'll see the real you?
No, it's just the idea.
Now that you mentioned it, you were really different in the beginning.
Yeah, it was. No, it's more. Read the book. Honestly, even having been here as long as you've been here, I think there's a lot of things you'd be like, man, I wish I would have read this earlier. And then, if there is ever a next job, what to learn, or a next TV show, it's kind of all in the same. Understanding the culture of different, the culture of different places, you have to kind of assimilate to their culture. You're not going to be able to come in and go like, all right, everybody's going to do things my way now. But anyway, look, it's more convenient, obviously, to read on the Kindle. It's more convenient to grocery shop online. But I love walking through a grocery store. I just do. I like how things are placed. I love looking at food and I want to look at my own apple. I want to see if the apple has bruises on it. I want to pick out the meat. No, I want that ribeye with the bone in, right? The man's one. I don't want the other one. That one. Cowboy ribeye. Giddy up. I want that piece of fish. I love doing it. But you cannot shop hungry. Because if you've ever been starved and you go in, say you go into Trader Joe's, right? And you go into Trader Joe's, and you know how they have the guy in the back who's the sampling things, and you try the meatball. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, yeah, you just go down in that aisle and you pick it up, and then you bring home meatballs. It's like, I don't want meatballs. I don't want meatballs. There's all kinds of things you buy. At home, you're like, I don't even eat this. I don't want this. And don't even think about going shopping hungry when you're at Costco, right? Now you end up with vats and vats and vats of peanut butter. You're like, all I needed was, and that's what the Cavs are doing right now. The Cavs have just executed more trades. And you go to Cleveland, and you go to Cleveland, and you go to Cleveland. They are throwing everything at trying to fix this thing. Look, at least they understand what I said to start the show is, hey, they may have won last night on a fadeaway jump shot by LeBron James, scored 140 points, made 21 threes, but that makes you feel good for a day or two like a B12 shot. This team stinks, and they needed to try and fix things. They've already started. First move, Isaiah Thomas out. He goes to the Lakers, along with Channing Frye. In return, Jordan Clarkson and they got Larry Nance Jr. Now more trades. Let's see here. Cleveland's going to send Iman Shumpert to the Kings. Right?
That's a new one, too.
In return, they're going to get George Hill. Cleveland's also going to send Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose to Utah. In return, they're going to get Rodney Hood. So, nobody cares who goes to Utah. Sorry, Utah. I think you have one of the best coaches in the NBA. I really do. He's a fantastic coach. Okay? And nobody cares who goes to Sacramento. All anybody cares about is Cleveland, and they got Rodney Hood, and they got George Hill. And George Hill had been somebody who they had opined for, a starting point guard who doesn't need the basketball in order to play with other stars, much like when he was in Indiana, like when he was in San Antonio, and now that's what he'll be with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Rodney Hood gives them a lot more athleticism, a hybrid wing, a 2-3 who can shoot and can score. So they've gotten much younger already. They have said, hey, we're old, really, really old. And this is
too.
So Jordan Clarkson, George Hill, Rodney Hood, and Larry Nance all coming to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Is that correct? Do I have those names correct? There's another one? Another one.
According to Woj, D Wade's going back to Miami.
No. Is that the fake Woj account or the real one?
Make sure that's a real.
'Cause there's a
Make
lot of
sure that's a
fake
real
Woj accounts.
Woj account.
This is a great this is one of my favorite days of the year. And they're doing a lot. Also, it seems like they're spending money. Yeah.
Well, I don't know the dollars and cents.
I
of it.
think that they
like,
are.
Look, here's the secret. Dwayne Wade is washed up. He's not any good anymore. He is washed. And congrats if Cleveland recognized that and had the conversation with LeBron James. Like, I know you guys are boys. I understand. But if you want to win another title, he got to go.
Well, it seems like they're doing this for LeBron. Like
Yes.
They're making the team better. They're spending money. Maybe
Look,
they
I
think
like
LeBron's going to stay. Or they're trying to coax him to stay.
Like, they had to do something. You can't just sit there and not do anything and go like, hey, we got LeBron. Like, that didn't work.
Ooh.
Now, the problem with this is it does feel a little bit like the last time LeBron left town, right? Last time LeBron left town, remember they went and got Shaq. Man, we need some size. Let's go get Shaq and Anton Jameson and Anthony Parker, right? Like they started throwing things, and this is really throwing things together.
Did anybody else make a trade today?
I don't know, but they're going to have name tags at the first practice.
Right,
The
it's a
practice
whole new
tomorrow.
team.
Like, and you wait. I know you. Wait, you're from.
Tristan Thompson's still there?
Tristan Thompson is still there. And J.R. Smith is still there.
Yeah,
Right.
his friends.
So
They
Tristan
made
and
the cut.
Right, they made the cut. Right?
I wonder how Dwayne Wade feels.
Dwayne Wade, this is like.
Wait, he didn't even like Miami anymore. He got in a fight with Miami, and now they're sending him there.
But it was over money. He was never the highest paid guy there,
Right,
right? And then he got paid by Chicago, and now he's all good. Then he fleeced Chicago for a huge contract.
Right, but I don't
Then
think
he got
that-
bought out by Chicago. Now he's with Cleveland, and they're going to trade him back to Miami.
Right, but him and Pat Riley aren't on good terms. He's got to be mad at LeBron
What
for that.
did they get back from Miami? Do you return anything? You're like, we'll take Dwayne Wade off
This is
here.
so interesting. the
It's
whole
very
day.
interesting, but the idea that his buddies, like Tristan and JR, stay, and by the way, they're all represented by his agent, right? And Dwayne Wade goes. It's like, hey, this is like Survivor or Bachelor in Paradise. You know, Bachelor in
Oh, I
Paradise,
love that show.
they have the alliances.
Yeah.
Right? And you have an alliance, and all of a sudden somebody's like, oh, hey, sorry. Yeah, you're not part of our alliance anymore. Somebody gets their torch extinguished. But the Cavs are just throwing everything. They're shopping hungry. That's what they're doing. And Kobe Altman probably has a very good future in the NBA, but he's super young, right? And Dan Gilbert is an owner. Like, this is not his primary function, and he's making these decisions. And they're just walking in saying, yes, 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 yes. Ooh, I want that. And they're going to come home, and they're going to open up the grocery basket, and they'll be like, or open up the bags, like, okay, what did I buy? Right? You got Jordan Clarkson and Rodney Hood and Larry Nance and George Hill. Like Larry Nance and Jordan Clarkson have been in the league for a minute. They don't win.
Do they really think, too, that they're going to be able to figure out their chemistry together in time for the playoffs?
Oh, by the way, they won't have Kevin Love back until the very last couple weeks
Right.
of the season. No, they don't.
So they're just throwing in the towel in this season?
No, they're not. They're trying to fix the season, but they're doing too much.
I don't know. Maybe they're planning for the future.
The Cavs coaching staff, this is from Brian Windhorst, the Cavs coaching staff was considering reducing Dwayne Wade's playing time. He's been agitating for return home to Miami in the future. Sources say both are fixed. Right? I mean, look, one thing they did today was the locker room was a mess. Isaiah Thomas is a pain in the ass. He's gone. Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose are two former star players who are trying to take lesser roles, and it's really, really hard. It's really hard. It's hard for lead actors. It's hard for lead actors to play bit parts, to play cameos. Honestly, a moment to which Tom Cruise kind of won me over, right? Tom Cruise has been great in a lot of movies. I watched Few Good Men over the weekend. By the way, the fact that no one's given any grief over the fact his baseball swing was terrible in A Few Good Men. But outside of that, it's a perfect movie. A perfectly written, perfectly directed, perfectly acted movie. It is perfection. That's what a movie is supposed to be. But did you ever see him in Tropic Thunder?
I didn't watch that movie.
You've never watched Tropic
I
Thunder?
refused.
That's
I watched
hilarious.
5 minutes and I couldn't handle it anymore.
Okay, he has a role in Tropic Thunder, which is a very small cameo appearance. But the idea that Tom Cruise would kind of make fun of himself and make fun of a lot of it's making fun of Hollywood in a cameo role is like, man, I never thought Tom Cruise would ever say yes to something like that. Lots of NBA players think that at the end of their career, hey man, I'll just come off the bench. I'll play when you want to play me. I'm ready to go. I'll just be happy. I want to be a part of a championship team. And then all of a sudden they do that and they can't handle it. D Rose couldn't handle it. That's why he went AWOL from the team again this year. Dwayne Wade couldn't handle it. He wanted to start. The team got upset. The players got upset that he was starting. Now he's on the bench. Turns out he's washed up. They just got rid of him. Isaiah Thomas went from being the alpha in Boston. Now all of a sudden he had to take a secondary or tertiary role. He couldn't handle it. He was a problem. He's gone. But yeah, this is too much change. You know the only thing worse than shopping hungry, right, Christine?
No.
Shopping hungry and stoned. Because
Never
now,
have done that.
Because now you're like, Funyuns! I love Funyuns!
Or
Oh my God!
Scooby
And water.
snacks.
Need water. Huh?
Scooby snacks.
Scooby snacks. You need Scooby snacks.
The little dip.
What are you guys doing? They're like, you said you want us to make moves. Like, I don't know anybody in this locker room anymore. And the guys you kept are Tristan Thompson, who stinks, and J.R. Smith, who stinks,
Hold
and
on.
are both overpaid.
You think that LeBron didn't approve of all of these trades? They 100% asked him what he thought about everything.
There's too many
In fact,
trades to
LeBron
approve.
was probably on the phone last night with the GMs himself.
Huh? Hold on. Wait, you're calling me again from another line? Another trade?
No, he's in on it.
Side note, my son got an Isaiah Thomas jersey for Christmas. Cavs jersey.
Oh.
I knew it wouldn't last long, but he's left-handed. He's little, you know. He actually has a good smile, a great attitude, a pretty good attitude. Tough little sucker.
He can wear it now to a Laker game.
Yeah, that's just weird. Who are the Cavs trading next? Find out in mere moments. That's next. But first, if you stumbled through social media sites for Valentine's, you know that women love to show off what their boyfriend or husband surprised them with. Look, just take my time-tested advice. When women say, I don't want flowers, or not flowers this year, always get them flowers. There's never, ever been a woman who's gotten a beautiful set of flowers that they did not like. That does not occur in the human race, okay? 1-800-Flowers.com. You can order early. You get 18 pink and red enchanted roses for just $29.99. Done. Off your plate. Check the box. So easy. Valentine's is 6 days away. So to order 18 red and pink enchanted roses for $29.99, every woman, heck, I even like these pink and red roses. They all love them. 1-800-Flowers.com. Click on the radio icon and enter the code HERD, H-E-R-D, order today. And save at 1-800-Flowers.com. The code is HERD.